What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Your boy Eakes joined the High Roller VGC Draft League held by fellow Twitch streamer Jim Fry. It was a $100 buy-in, which will feed into the total prize pool of up to $5,000. And on top of that, in your regular season matches of 8 weeks, every time you lose, you have to pay up to your opponent 25 bucks. So if you go and lose every single match of the Draft League, you are out 300 smackers. But if you can make it into the playoffs, you are going to make your money back and then some, baby. So I'm going to be documenting my entire adventure of the High Roller VGC Draft League here on YouTube and Twitch. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the team I drafted and why, as well as my week 1 match against my opponent. So let's get into it. So guys, we are going to be taking a look at my team that I drafted for the High Roller Draft League, and we're also going to be looking at my opponent's team. I'm going to be kind of breaking down what my thought process was about it and etc. So my 2 S-tier Pokemon that I got were Excadrill and Moltres. Now, to be honest, these were the 2 S-tiers that I wanted from the very beginning. I was happy to receive them. Much like my opponent, Joey, he has Tyranitar and Incineroar. I think that they are just good, solid, amazing Pokemon that are extremely flexible. They can run a myriad of different sets. Even Excadrill could be Sandrush or Mold Breaker for like a bunch of different good abilities. And then Moltres can, you know, be a supporter, can be Assault Vest, can be Life Orb, Weakness Policy, all these kind of things. So I thought they were both extremely flexible and extremely strong mons that both synergize with each other very well with the whole like Max Airstream, Earthquake, kind of stuff like that. So those were my S tiers. And as for my A tiers, I picked up Clefable. I thought having a follow me would be pretty valuable. There are very little follow me's in the format. Clefairy was an S tier, for example. Togekiss was an S tier. And Clefable was actually an A tier. So I thought A for Clefable was a pretty good pickup. And then I actually picked up Gigalith as my other A tier. And the cool thing about that is Gigalith can have Sandstream to set up for Excadrill. It was cool because I just had that type of synergy with Excadrill if I do want to go with the Sandrush build. But of course, Gigalith is pretty solid enough as it is. And so I saw that I had a Follow Me Mon. I saw that I had Gigalith, who's very slow and works great under Trick Room. I wanted a Trick Room setter, and that's where I got my 2 B-tier Pokemon in Jellicent. I was actually aiming for Gourgeist, but Gourgeist got picked up, I think, 2 rounds on the Snake Draft right before I was about to get it. So I was kind of fumbling as to which Pokemon I wanted for my Trick Roomer, but I thought Jellicent was actually pretty good with amazing abilities. Water Absorb and Cursed Body are both very, very good. You've got access to a bunch of moves, Taunt, Will-O-Wisp, things like Strength Sap. I thought Jellicent was actually a really good pickup as a Trick Roomer. I think it's kind of like underappreciated almost. I think Jellicent was actually a really good pickup. And so I got my Trick Room setter and a water type damage dealer, which I think is pretty solid. And then for my last B tier, I actually got Marowak. Now, I noticed I had Trick Room, but then I also noticed I had kind of a big weakness to Electric in Galarian Moltres and Jellicent. And so I wanted to get a Lightning Rodder. A Alolan Marowak was swooped up pretty relatively early, which is really good. Not crazy at all for someone to want to swoop that up. So yeah, I picked up Marowak as a Lightning Rodder and an amazing Trick Room sweeper with Thick Club. Lightning Rod, Thick Club combination is just really, really strong. So I was very satisfied with getting Marowak as my B tier. And then we got 1 C tier before the draft ended. And I actually ended up picking up Jynx. I thought having Fake Out was really good. I wanted another special attacker. And it was mostly Fake Out was like my big thing that made me really want it. And I thought it synergized well with the rest of my Pokemon that I had. And I thought it was just like a good sleeper mod. Just being able to is it Lovely Kiss or Sweet Kiss? I don't remember which one puts them to sleep. I think it's Lovely Kiss. Yeah. So like Lovely Kiss, you could put them to sleep, which is just broken and annoying. Dry Skin was another way for me to take water attacks. I was kind of developing a big water weakness. Excadrill, water weak. Gigalith, water weak. Marowak, water weak. And I have dry skin on Jynx to effectively have another water absorb. So I really liked that. And then, so after you chose 2S, 2A, 2B, and 1C, it now opened back up to you can get anything with a amount of points you had. And so, unfortunately, with my position in the snake, it was all the way back at the end, and then it opened up. And so everybody swooped up a third S-tier Pokemon, and there were literally no S-tier Pokemon left when it got to me. I think there might have been one. I actually think there was 0 S-tiers. So I don't know. I felt a little bit shafted on that, but it happens. So I knew that I needed a fire type. And some speed control would be nice over just Sand Rush. And Talonflame, I don't think Talonflame is a great fire type, to be honest. I think it just like instantly dies after it gets Tailwind up, stuff like that. But I thought Priority Tailwind would be really nice, could potentially shut down a lot of teams that don't have things like Fake Out, stuff like that. And picked up Talonflame, which was cool. I got Alolan Ninetales. Actually, I got Rotom-Mow shortly after, which I thought was really good because like, I've got Discharge synergy next to Lightning Rod, Ground type, Marowak, Wide Guard, Gigalith, even Excadrill, Earthquake with Excadrill next to Moltres and Talonflame and Rotom. I thought that that was really cool. I thought Ninetales synergized really well with Jynx. I could get this Blizzard spam going in certain matchups. And then I even thought that Aurora Veil bulking up things like Moltres and Excadrill sounds pretty scary too. So these were my mons that I got at the end after the draft opened back up, after we got our C tiers. So I picked up Rotom, Ninetales, Talonflame. My last pick, once again, I kind of said that I think Talonflame isn't that amazing of a fire type. And to my surprise, Darmanitan was actually sitting available. And, you know, we've seen Galarian Darmanitan do pretty good, but Darmanitan has the exact same stats, super strong, not amazingly fast, but with the Scarf, he's going quick. Sheer Forest is a 1.3 times boost to moves that have a bonus effect, but it makes it so you can't have the bonus effect. So that's totally fine, though, because you can go something like Flare Blitz. Now your Flare Blitz is doing 33 times more damage, 30%, excuse me, but it just doesn't have a 10% chance burn. And I think that that is totally fine to lose. So this was actually my squad, guys. And then, so how's about we take a look at Joey's team? His 2 S tiers, like I said, were Incineroar and Tyranitar. And then he's got Aerodactyl, Naganadel as these kind of really quick hard attackers. Tailwind with Aerodactyl. The Pokemon that I was the most afraid of was Blastoise. You guys can see that I have a lot of water weaknesses. Gigalith, Excadrill, Marowak. Even Moltres isn't amazing against Blastoise. But I do have, and then I've got the 2 fire types. So like my team was very, very water weak. I was really scared of Blastoise. So I tried to build a lot around Blastoise. Because turn 1, he could have G-maxed Blastoise while I tried to fake it out or set up. Or if I go for like Swords Dance or something with my Excadrill, he could just Water Spout turn 1. And so it was a lot of like mind games as to what Blastoise is going to do. I don't know what kind of set it's going to be. He could even be like Choice Scarf, Water Spout Blastoise, and completely take me off guard and just clap me, right? And then he's also got the synergy of Togedemaru to protect the Blastoise with Lightning Rod. That was something I also needed to think about because Rotom-Mow looked pretty good, but it could have, I had to get around that Lightning Rod too. So those were my biggest fears in the matchup were Blastoise and Togedemaru, and then Toxtricity trying to like kill Jellicent around Lightning Rod with Overdrive, for example. Those were the things I was most scared of. If you guys notice, Joey's team seems exceptionally weak to ground, and I have Excadrill and Thick Club Marowak. Tyranitar's weak to ground, Incineroar's weak to ground, Naganadel, Carbink, Blaziken, Toxtricity, Togedemaru. That is 7 ground weak Pokemon. But that's like a give and a take, is like I knew my ground types were going to be amazing, but Blastoise messes them up. So I decided to go for a full-on let's kill stuff. Let's kill everybody with my ground types, right? And so this is where I will start showing you guys the team that I came up with for this matchup. I was horrified at the prospect of, so the biggest things I was trying to build around were, let's go back to Joey's team. The biggest things I was trying to build around were Burning, Jealousy, Incineroar. Excadrill, Max Quake, Max Steel Spike, Swords Dance. All of these things are amazing, but he could just get around, follow me from Clefable, and Burning Jealousy my Excadrill. And that would really halt Excadrill's ability to, you know, carry and stuff like that. Because when he intimidates Excadrill, I can no longer kill him. And I was fully expecting Incineroar to be Shuckleberry. I feel like Shuckleberry was an amazing item against my team. So I just knew that I'm not going to be able to kill that Excadrill, the Incineroar with my Excadrill under like any circumstances. And I'm afraid of Burning Jealousy. So I decided to just be Weakness Policy. Excuse me, wrong one. I decided to just be Weakness Policy so that if he does Burning Jealousy me, it just completely negates that. Could I have been Lumberry or something? Sure, but I just thought I take it, I get the burn, and then I get my Weakness Policy activated. And in a lot of situations, my Weakness Policy is probably going to get activated anyway. So I decided to be Weakness Policy 1. And then I actually ran Safeguard on Clefable with a little bit of speed, just so that I could hopefully go before the Incineroar and get off a Safeguard to protect myself from Burning Jealousy. So, to be honest, that was one of the things that I was trying to be extremely prepared for, was the Burning Jealousy. My speed investment on Excadrill is just like, when you're playing in a draft league, you only need to be faster than what their team is, not like every Pokemon in the meta. So this outsped every single Mon on his team that wasn't just faster than Excadrill anyway. So that was my speed. I put a lot of special defense to take hits from those Blastoises and stuff after a high horsepower, Max Quake, excuse me. Clefable was Kebia Berry. This weakens the poison moves because he's got Toxtricity and a Gonadel. So I actually thought this was a really cool pick. The speed is just to hopefully get a Safeguard up before the Burning Jealousy. And then the rest is just in bulk to make Clefable as bulky as possible. So I brought Gigalith so that I could have a Sandstream option to speed up Excadrill. Mold Breaker was not useful in this matchup at all. And then the Gigalith's speed is actually as fast as I can be while being slower than everything on his team. So that I take less damage from like Electro Ball or something from Toxtricity, right? So I'm running the Pachot Berry. Once again, I'm so scared of that Blastoise, man. So I actually thought that a really good win con I could get was if I got Trick Room up, Gigalith could get up a bunch of Steel Spikes and then body press through the whole team. So this was kind of another win con I was going for, especially with if I max Excadrill and I'm just Steel Spiking next to Gigalith. Well, then Gigalith's getting all the defense boosts from Excadrill, and then I can start body pressing as well with Gigalith. So that was another idea of mine. Gigalith was kind of there for the Sandstream, and then potentially could sweep with body press, right? And then Rotom Mow. Choice Scarf Rotom Mow, with the amount of speed that I have on it right here, actually outspeeds everything on Joey's team. And so I could go and do like a big Electroweb into things like Aerodactyl, Blastoise, Regidraco that could potentially be Scarfed or stuff like that. And it gets around Togedemaru's Lightning Rod. I also had Discharge on my Rotom to hopefully catch that Blastoise by surprise. Catch the Aerodactyl by surprise. Aerodactyl, of course, does get Wide Guard, but, you know, I could just Thunderbolt that in that case. You know, it's kind of like a 50-50. But, so I thought Scarf Rotom was really good because it gave me a form of speed control. It gave me a way of outspeeding a lot of these threats and then just killing them with like Thunderbolt into Aerodactyl, Thunderbolt or Leaf Storm into Blastoise and stuff like that. And then, yeah, I just ran 3 Electro moves. Thunderbolt, Discharge, Electroweb, and Leaf Storm. So that was my thought there. I, once again, wanted as many answers to Blastoise as I could get. And I thought that Rotom Mow was going to do that well. And so I talked about how I was going for this big ground, you know, game plan of kill everything with the ground moves. So I'm already bringing Clefable with Follow Me. So I thought that I wanted Jellicent and I wanted Jellicent to set up Trick Room. Water Spout could just wreck a lot of his team. He has a lot of water weak Pokemon as well. If I were to get up Trick Room and be healthy, I could Water Spout on everything. I could even Dynamax Jellicent in certain scenarios where the water typing is in a great position to kill stuff. I went for Scald just so I have another water move that doesn't rely on me being high HP or blocked by Wide Guard. Strength Sap to heal myself, drop down the physical attack of him and heal back up. And then I went Water Absorb, of course, for the easy Blastoise switch in. And then Marowak with Lightning Rod to protect from those electric moves. And, yeah, Swords Dance, just try and sweep, kill everything with a bunch of special defense investment. As you can see, I didn't bring my second S tier Galarian Moltres. I think Galarian Moltres is not good at all into Joey's team. Tyranitar is probably the best Pokemon, like, ever against Galarian Moltres. I think Incineroar is an amazing matchup into Galarian Moltres. He's got Aerodactyl. He's got Toxtricity. Togedemaru. This was unfortunately a very, very poor matchup for Moltres, and I wasn't too shaken. I thought I could, you know, pull this off without bringing Moltres. So that was my game plan. I was expecting things like, once again, let's go over what I was expecting. I was expecting Burning Jealousy and Incineroar. I was expecting Blastoise to maybe even Shell Smash or be the primary G-Max of the match. I thought Aerodactyl was going to be speed controlling. I even thought Meowstic could be some kind of like imprisoned Trick Room or Trick Eject Button stuff. And I was actually really scared of that because I thought if I got Trick Room up, I was gaming. And, you know, there is an imprisoned Trick Room Mon on my opponent's team in Meowstic. So those were the kind of things I was thinking of. Also Toxtricity, dropping like big overdrives and stuff like that. So that's what I was afraid of. But guys, that was my team. And let's get into the match against Joey. So here we go. We actually see that Joey decides to bring his two S tiers, Incineroar and Tyranitar, Naganadel, Aerodactyl, Blastoise, and Meowstic. So no Togedemaru to protect that Blastoise from the electric moves, which was a bit surprising to me. I was a bit upset to see Meowstic because, once again, I am scared of that imprisoned Trick Room. I think if I can get Trick Room up, I'm in an amazing spot, but I feel like I can't lead Trick Room because the Meowstic could just imprison me, and I'm really scared about that. Okay, and so we've got Aerodactyl with the Tailwind, and then T-Tar and Incineroar are both big jacks of all trades. I don't know exactly what they're going to be running, but I was pretty happy to not see Togedemaru or Toxtricity. I feel like Jellicent could be pretty good as long as I can get around this Meowstic. So those are my thoughts. I did not want to lead my Trick Room mode just because of leading into Meowstic could be very detrimental. But yeah, so Joey locks in, and I'm still thinking, do I want to go with like an extra Clefable and try to set up? Or do I want to really try to stop that potential Blastoise lead? And I actually decided to lead with Rotom Mow just out of the fear of that Blastoise yet again. So I feel like I covered pretty well here. I decided to bring Jellicent and Marowak in the back so that I could have the Trick Room option and the Trick Room Sweeper in Marowak, of course. So we actually see Incineroar come out right off the rip. But yeah, I definitely expected Tyranitar to be led here. Sorry, Incineroar to be led here. But I guess I didn't expect Tyranitar too much. But as you guys could see right there, he brought Unnerve Tyranitar. Unnerve makes it so you cannot eat any berries. Now, I think that I should have thought about this a little bit more. Sand doesn't really benefit him too much in this matchup. I think it benefits me a lot with all of my rock and ground types and Sand Rush Excadrill. And then I think in draft leagues, the berries, the weakness berries, like Colbur, like Kebia, like I'm running, are really, really good. So I did not respect Unnerve as much as I should have. But so I pretty much want that Tyranitar gone, because Tyranitar's one of the biggest threats to my Jellicent and me getting a Trick Room with that. So I'm actually going to go for a double attack here into Tyranitar, just trying to wipe it out right off the rip here. So like I said, I think that getting Steel Spikes up onto my Excadrill are really good, just because if I even, you know, get hit by a Flare Blitz, I won't take that much, and I'll activate my Weakness Policy. So I thought getting the Steel Spike boosts up were really good. And so here we go, Dynamax, Meowstic switches in here. Bum, 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 bum. Meowstic switches in, baby. Okay, you guys are awesome, but I am going to take the alerts off. I think that's the best way for me to do it. But I still see everything, and I appreciate you guys. So Meowstic switches in here, which is going to take a lot of damage. like a big Leaf Storm. Look how much this does to Meowstic. That's a lot. Unfortunately, it's Citrus Berry. So watch this. Let's say I went for a Thunderbolt, which I think might have been a better play. Thunderbolt would not have procced, Citrus Berry, and then this Steel Spike, it could have been close. I might have actually been able to pick up the kill if I went for Thunderbolt, Steel Spike, and killed Meowstic there. But it happens. And then, when I saw he wasn't going for Fake Out, I knew he was going for a Flare Blitz and a Rotom, but I knew that I could survive, because at +1 defense, Rotom's like a relatively bulky Pokemon. And I didn't expect him to have too much attack investment on his Incineroar in a Draft League match, when it's kind of more supportive mod. But so there's Meowstic alive, and I'm thinking in my head, yo, if I can kill that Meowstic, I should hopefully be able to get Trick Room up with my Jellicent at some point. I switch out Rotom because I'm Scarf. I just dropped my stats with Leaf Storm, and I decided to go into Marowak here. I think in hindsight, it was probably better if I went to Jellicent. Getting a defense boost onto Jellicent would have been really good. Would have put me in a position to hopefully get up Trick Room. And Meowstic, before it faints, uses its Prankster to charm my X-Drill. So my X-Drill is now at -3 attack. And that sucks. -3 attack is pretty darn low. Am I weakness policy? Yes. Do I have Swords Dance as well? Also yes, but -3 attack is a big detriment to overcome. So I fully expect Incineroar to come in here, drop my attack again, wants to drop Marowak's attack too, right? So that's what I'm definitely expecting here. But I've got Marowak at +1 defense, who's a very bulky boy, and X-Drill's a +2 defense as well. So my attack is kind of low, but once again, he doesn't know my items. I know that if I get my weakness policy activated, I'm going to be right back in the action. And so I'm expecting Marowak to get faked out here, but I actually decide to go for a Swords Dance just to kind of like overcome these attack drops and make Marowak a threat. Because X-Drill is the threat while it's sitting there Dynamax, right? But Marowak really isn't so much at -1. But in hindsight, I probably should have just protected, because like I know that I'm going to take a Fake Out at least this turn with Marowak. But if Tyranitar decides to attack Marowak too, that's kind of scary. So here comes the Fake Out. I don't protect. I probably should have in hindsight. But I'm going for another Steel Spike. And I don't want to hit that Tyranitar because of a potential weakness pulse. So I'm at +3 defense on X-Drill and +2 defense on Marowak, which I think is pretty solid. And so here comes Tyranitar with a Steel Spike of its own. A really cool tech. I don't think Steel offensively is too amazing against my team, but like getting the defense boosts onto Incineroar and Tyranitar, they are now scary. I am dropped attack, and they have a defense boost now. And then Marowak just took about 33% of its health, a third of its health, just because I didn't protect. And so I am definitely biting myself there. I take a look at my stats there to see that I'm at -4 attack. And so right now I'm in a bit of a sticky situation, I might say, where my X-Drill has like no attack. Marowak's at -1, so that's pretty weak too. But my X-Drill is at +3 defense. I have the weakest policy that he doesn't know about. And I've got Swords Dance. I can boost up my stats again. So right now, I'm kind of needing to come up with a plan as to how I can get this X-Drill to sweep everything. Because there's an Incineroar and a Tyranitar. These are things that X-Drill can totally knock out. So right here, this Swords Dance on Marowak, I think was a bit greedy. I thought he was going to... I think the Swords Dance on X-Drill is a great play. I think the Swords Dance on Marowak was a bit overkill. I probably should have just dropped a Boomerang into Incineroar and tried to pick up a KO. But here we go. I get big surprised here by Bulldoze Incineroar. And I mean, obviously, if that's happening, that's a weakness policy Tyranitar, of course. But I've also got a weakness policy, baby. So X-Drill is going to get the weakness policy activated as well, which is pretty nice. And I don't think that's too bad. And because I'm going for Swords Dance here, I just went from -4 attack on X-Drill. I am now fucking dead. Nice! Let's go! Okay. That, pretty unfortunate. Pretty darn unfortunate indeed. That's the Eakes way, baby. But there we go. Swords Dance. I'm now plus 1 attack, I think, on Marowak. And so, yeah, pretty much at this point in the game, I thought I put myself into a pretty good position. I thought Extra was going to be able to clean it up. Incineroar would have to be extremely fast to outspeed Excadrill at -1 speed, and which is totally possible, but I really don't think it was. And so I'm thinking I could bring in Jellicent, but it's unnerved Tyranitar. I cannot eat my Colbur Berry, so I'm just gonna die to a Max Darkness. And yeah, I'm just gonna die with Jellicent. So it was not a good bring-in. I think I actually could have brought in Jellicent because I was faster, because he's -1 speed on T-Tar, right? But Marowak is at +2 defense. Tyranitar is at +2 attack. So it's pretty neutral on that front. So I'm pretty much thinking my only way out of this is some good, juicy old discharge hacks, baby. So let's make it happen. Go, Rotom, go. Lightning Rod from Marowak. Not really gonna benefit here. Big discharge. This could be a game changer. 0 paras, unfortunately. Double 30% chance, a bit unfortunate. We're gonna drop to the Flare Blitz here. Personally, I thought Marowak could take a Max Steel Spike from Tyranitar. I really did. Because it's +2 Tyranitar and +2 Marowak. But I actually end up going down here. And I'm gonna be honest, I bet you that was a pretty close roll. Relatively close. But Marowak is gonna go down here. And so that is definitely going to be the L here. All I have left is Jellicent. Once again, I can't eat my Colbur Berry. All that good stuff. But what have we seen? What have we seen from this Incineroar team? We've seen Fake Out, we've seen Bulldoze, and we've seen Flare Blitz. And with a moveset like that, and the fact that it's faster than the T-Tar, I was kind of thinking it might be AV. But so, watch this. He snarls me. I'm at -1. I get that. I'm at -1, and I lost my HP. The Incineroar is faster than my Jellicent. I go for Water Spout. Incineroar takes next to nothing from that Water Spout. It did more to the Tyranitar. So, after that, I kind of came to the conclusion that it is Assault Vest Incineroar. Which, once again, I was really surprised by. I thought it was going to be Shuckle Berry, because I think Extra would have really just messed up Incineroar pretty bad. So I kind of came to the conclusion that I think it's AV after that Water Spout damage. So, did we lose game 1, team? As a matter of fact, yes, we did. Was it very largely impacted by my Extra literally getting one-shot by a crit at +3 defense? Yes. But I still think I have a good matchup. So, like, I think I'm a very good mentality player in best of 3s, where it's like, I could win 2 in a row. Like, why can't I, right? So, I'm not feeling too out of it here. I just know that Extra can just kill everything. That's kind of what I've came to, is if he brings those same Mons he just brought, Incineroar, T-Tar, and I also learned that it's not Burning Jealousy Incineroar. Like, I really don't think it's Burning Jealousy Incineroar. So I kind of came to the conclusion, like, I think Extra really could just totally sweep this. And the Rotom lead didn't work out too well. It could get faked out. We also didn't see a Blastoise. So that kind of made me be a little bit more, I don't really need to lead with Rotom. So I'm actually going to go with a more setup-oriented lead of Extra and Clefable. I think that that's pretty flexible too. Like, I could switch Extra out into Jellicent and switch and go for the Trick Room mode if it comes to that. So I decided to bring Gigalith as my Trick Room Sweeper. I don't think Marowak really did too much. And I actually decided to bring Gigalith for that Sandstream boost as well. So this was my game plan. I was trying to lead decently against Blastoise, but still pretty good against the Incineroar, Tyranitar, and complete and utter change up from Joey. We see Naganadel and Aerodactyl. And so right here, Aerodactyl's pressure. I was just horrified again at the fact that this could just be unnerved Aerodactyl. And I have all of these weakness berries on my team. And I'm really regretting it. Pretty much. So I was very happy to see that it's Pressure Aerodactyl because Kebia Berry on Clefable is the poison weak berry. He had Toxtricity and Naganadel. So I know that Clefable is not going down this turn for sure. And that's pretty good. So I was happy to see that it was Pressure. To be honest, I don't see a reason why you would ever run Pressure and not Unnerve. Unnerve, your partners can still eat berries. So there's really no downside to having like the double Unnerve. But, so right here, I think this is an amazing lead. Excadrill is about to clap everything. But I'm sitting here thinking like, yeah, I can take the poison move, but Naganadel will instantly die to Excadrill at any point. And once again, I think Excadrill is going to sweep this whole team. So I decided to go for a Follow Me just to protect myself if Naganadel stays in. But I think Naganadel is switching out right now, and I think I'm going to get a juicy old Swordsdance up. That's not going to happen. I see Naganadel, something's Dynamaxing. It could be Aerodactyl going for like max Airstreams and stuff, but I was expecting it to be Naganadel when I saw the Dynamax going off. And so here we go. Naganadel decided to stay in. And I'm sure this is a max Ooze, you know, get that special attack boost. Luckily, Clefable is unaware, so the boosts technically don't matter. I definitely thought this was either a Tailwind or a Taunt coming out of Aerodactyl. And here we go. It is Taunt Aerodactyl. Joey had like 6 Mons that learned Taunt, so I was definitely like knowing that I'm going to be playing against that. But there we go. Look at this. I eat the Ooze boost. I eat the max Ooze because I have the berry. And look, if that was Unnerve, Clefable would have gotten one-shot by that. And that would have been really bad. So I feel like I kind of got bailed out there in the fact that I got to eat my Poison Berry. It's Life Orb Naganadel. I was so prepared to play against like Air Balloon, Shuckleberry 100% on at least 2 of the Pokemon he brings every game. So now I'm sitting here. I have the Sandstream switch in Max Quaken and Naganadel. I think it's extremely telegraphed. I'm sitting here thinking there's no way he lets me kill the Naganadel. But I feel like it's really safe anyway because like the thing is like, let's say I Max Quake into a Max Guard. He's going to Tailwind with Aerodactyl, right? I can then, like, hopefully just protect Excadrill and then, like, on the next turn. And then his Max is over. And then Heat Wave, like, or Flamethrower probably won't kill Excadrill Dynamaxed, even though he's Life Orb and stuff like that. So that was my thought here. I'm sitting here thinking, do I Max Quake the Naganadel to be safe? I'm fully expecting a Max Guard. Or do I go for the Steel Spike into Aerodactyl? I don't know if the Aerodactyl sash or not, right? I think I can get the kill. So, I decide, I really don't think there's any way that he lets me just kill the Naganadel here. And I go for the Aerodactyl instead. So here comes Sandstream. We're waiting for the Dynamax animation to go off. And here comes Excadrill. He's big. I'm at +2 attack. Sandstream boost. I'm schmoving. I'm going real fast like now. Turn starts. Naganadel did not max guard, which I pretty much knew that I lost at that point. I think if I max guard Naganadel there, I don't know exactly what he has in the back, but I don't think there was a single combination of Pokemon that could have beat Excadrill after that. So a big over predict from me. I really didn't think Joey would let me kill the Naganadel like that. And I fucking lose. So I pretty much lose right there. Excadrill's dead. It's +1 max flare from Naganadel. Naganadel is very strong. He gets the Tailwind up. My Dynamax is done. I accomplished nothing. And yeah. So pretty much, we can watch this match play on out. I'll speed it up a little bit, but that's a Naganadel behind Tailwind at +2 special attack. Aerodactyl's alive. There is no coming back from this. They would have to make a bunch of mistakes, and I don't think it's possible. I protect from the max ooze, just so I can hopefully stay alive here. And then I'm just going to go for a Rock Slide here with the Gigalith. I need like a double crit here. Switching in Incineroar is a great switch. Get the Intimidate onto Gigalith. No crazy crits or anything from the Rock Slide. I think I pretty much have to go for a double protect here. right here, I thought my only chance of winning was like, well, next turn, sorry. So he fakes out Gigalith, great play. Gigalith's the only thing putting, you know, what's it called? Damage on the field. And fake out Gigalith, just finish off the Clefairy. I don't get the double protect. If I got the double protect, all that would have done was give me like one more rock slide. And I think there's 1 or 2 more turns of Tailwind at this point. So to be honest, I think the only way I can win this game is if he goes for Draco Meteor into Gigalith and misses. And then, I don't know, I couldn't even kill Incineroar anyway. I would have had to like crit Incineroar with Rock Slide. It would have been insane. But my only way of winning this game is like he goes for Draco into Gigalith and misses. And then some crazy shit happens after that. So I'm waiting because he can Sludge Bomb Rotom. He doesn't know that I'm Scarf, so I could obviously protect Rotom at this point to him. He doesn't know that I'm Choice Scarf. I see the Draco Meteor. Obviously, it doesn't miss. It's 90% accurate. But that'll totally take out Gigalith. And then Rotom will just fall here to a Flare Blitzel. Big boost. Let's get it. We go for the big Electro Web, and then we swiftly die to a Flare Blitz. So, unfortunately, we get big old O2'd in our first round of the Draft League. We definitely have some lessons to learn here from this match, right? I think one of my biggest downfalls was not respecting Unnerve. I should have definitely noticed it's Unnerve T-Tar and probably Unnerve Aerodactyl. As you guys can see, I ran 3 Weakness Berries. I think Weakness Berries are phenomenal in Draft Leagues. But unfortunately, when 2 of the opponent's Pokemon could potentially both have Unnerve, I think I went a little bit too hard into the Weakness Berries. Kebia, Pachel, Colbert. This was a big one. Like, if Jellicent had maybe Mental Herb, I could have just let it into Aerodactyl, not feel scared, get up the Trick Room, for example. But yeah, I think that was my biggest mistake for sure, was not respecting Unnerve. And then, I mean, we could sit here and like complain Jane. I think game 1 we definitely probably would have won without the crit. Cause like Extra was at neutral attack that turn. I kill Incineroar, and then who was it? It was Jellicent comes in against the -1 speed Tyranitar, and then I still have like my whole Excadrill. So it was like Excadrill plus Jellicent, I think would have beaten whatever Joey had in the back in that matchup. We don't know what he brought. We don't know exactly what set they were running. But so game 1 was unfortunately decided by the crit, and then game 2 I prepared for Incineroar Tyranitar. Joey brought a new lead, and then I made a big over prediction, just not thinking that, just not trying to get the kill onto the Naganadel that turn, just because I thought it was a a safe play for me to switch in Gigalith and kill the Naganadel. But it happens. I paid up to Joey, and so we're starting off the Draft League at 0-1, unfortunately, but there are 8 weeks and there are 16 people in the group, and the top 8 make it out of the group. So, to be honest, that's not an insanely difficult thing to do. But I definitely learned my lesson. I think Unnerve was the biggest undoing of my team, for example. So, it happens. GG's to Joey, and we'll see you guys in week 2, baby.